take a moment to introduce you to the one-way ANOVA, or the simple analysis of variance. We're going to start off with your template here and looking at your research question, which highlighted in yellow here states or asks, is there a statistically significant difference among mean core body temperature of groups who worked in a cold, neutral, or a hot environment? Now, pause on that question for just a moment because it tells you what you need to know for what is going on with your research subjects here. So we can see from there that there are people distributed into groups. There's 3 groups, and each of these groups was exposed to one condition, and that was either cold, a neutral temperature, or a hot environment. So if you're in one group, you're only going to get exposed to either cold, neutral, or hot. You're not getting exposed to 2 of these. You're not getting exposed to 3 of these. You're only getting exposed to 1. So that's where we start with our analysis of variance. If we look at our data set, here, this is your the data set that you pull up. So you can see that these data are organized into 2 columns. The first one being environment, that is our grouping variable, and how we know that is we can go over here to variable view, and we can see in values, if you look in, you open that up just a bit, you can see that there are going to be 3 values within that column of environment, and those values are 1, 2, or 3. 1 being a code for cold, the cold group, 2 being neutral, 3 being hot. And you can see that over here, when they built the data set, that they categorize this as a nominal variable, or it's a named variable. So the value of 1 doesn't mean that it's any less than 2. It just means that it was cold. So our dependent variable here, or second variable, is core temperature, and that's a scale variable, right? So it's on a scale. So we'll analyze it as such. When we go back over to data view, we can toggle between here and here to show under environment how many subjects were exposed to the cold environment. It appears to be 1 through 10, and then this was their core temperature during that exposure, and then subjects 11 through 21 were exposed to the neutral environment, and then finally subjects 22 through 31 exposed to the hot environment. And so as you watch your demo video, as you read the analysis of variance chapter, which is chapter 11 in your textbook, keep this in mind. You're going to be making a comparison with the ANOVA that will result in an F ratio. You'll be exposed to post hoc tests and their types. And the post hoc, the ANOVA, just to clue you in, the ANOVA asks, is there a difference between these groups on their core temperature as they're exposed to those things? And so the answer to that is either yes or no. And so if the answer is yes, it gives you you have to ask a second question. And the second question is, if there is a difference between these groups, where is the difference? Is it between cold and neutral, neutral and hot, or hot and cold? So there's 3 post hoc comparisons that you will do that will ask those second level questions. And so watch out for your post hoc tests. Make sure you perform those, and those will give you 3 new significance values, and each one of those will make those separate comparisons between each of those group pairings to make sure that you can kind of flesh out of there, if there is a difference between core temperature between these groups, where is that at, so that you can further identify the specifics of any difference that could potentially be there. So I'm available. Please email me if you would like to discuss this, just to make sure that you're in the ballpark so that you can do well in your assignment. Okay, thank you.